What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to do a deep dive. Yes, for the 2022 to 2023 season. If you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I know this video based off of TFG's, or that franchise guys video, it's not going to do well. None of these do. I just like doing this for you guys, and it gets good content out, and we get to learn together. So, again, if you guys are new, feel free to stick around. I would love to be able to chat with you guys, and you guys follow one team, so let me know where I'm wrong because, again, I follow 32. Let's look at the draft. Obviously, Rams never really have a draft, but Logan Bruss, I didn't really know enough about him as an interior offensive line. Wasn't a huge fan of it. He's Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken, so I guess I'll give a thumbs up for that. Nakobe Durant, it's like, okay, I didn't really think he was going to get drafted. Kyron Williams, very solid. Quentin Lake, solid player as well. Darion Kendrick, another solid player. Daniel Hardy, can't really say much about him. And the rest of the draft, I wasn't really a big fan of. Bottom line, I don't see any of these guys actually making an impact on this roster. Just to be blunt, I'm a little bit worried about that. But Darion Kendrick, I think, has a chance to be able to rotate around, and Quentin Lake kind of fits the scheme. You guys just aren't really the best at drafting, so to speak. But again, you guys have a weakness there, but have a strength in being able to manipulate cap and get free agency. So, you know what? It's perfectly fine because I have a lot of faith in you guys. Let's look at the roster, though. Starting off with the quarterback, obviously, Matt Stafford looks great. Bryce Perkins has had quite a few times in the preseason to show out. He's had some flashes, so excited to see that. Running back wise, you have Cam Akers. Hopefully, he stays healthy. Darrell Henderson, obviously, hopefully he stays healthy. Then you have obviously Jake Funk in here too, who's really good. Xavier Jones, pony up SMU. Kyron Williams. You have good backs, and I think they all fit the scheme actually pretty well. So I do like that a lot. So let's go to the wide receivers here. You got Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson, possibly one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL, if not the best. Obviously, the Triple Crown winner last year. Cooper Kupp's a baller. And then Allen Robinson's a stud in his own. I really do think that he's a stud. And the fact that you've gone for 15.5 is, in my opinion, ridiculous because he's a true wide receiver one. I do understand, though. He's getting a little bit up there in age. Van Jefferson, to me, is a wide receiver 3. He's great. Everybody thought Tutu Atwell was a reach, including myself. I had a 5th, if not 6th on him. I just did not like him very much. Jacob Harris is a nice tight end wide receiver hybrid. And I was a big fan of Ben Skoranek. So excited to see that he's on the squad. I know that TFG was talking about the lack of depth. I don't think that's true for the wide receiver core or the running back room, maybe for the quarterback room, but at the end of the day, who has 2 starting caliber quarterbacks? So we'll see where his concerns pop up. Tyler Higbee is solid tight end 2 material. Again, not really an elite tight end 1, but you do have enough weapons to come over that. Bryson Hopkins, not too shabby either. Tackle wise, no boom. Not mistaken, got a big ass contract. Yes, he did. Not that big, honestly. Like, it's barely bigger than Chakuma Okorafor's, but he's supposed to take over tackle duties. I like that. Bobby Evans, solid enough depth. Alaric Jackson, he's had some issues, but Rob Havenstein's solid tackle as well. You know, that contract is going to be a lot less nice as of next year. Obviously, $8 million is a good price for a starting tackle. I would say the depth at offensive line is really scary. You pretty much have 2 guys I like at the tackle room, and then you have Bobby Evans, who's really not that phenomenal. So you guys were thin offensive line last year, and you guys stayed healthy. The series assumes healthiness with like kind of like a stars, and like we know some people are gonna get hurt. If you have really poor depth at a position, I might take that into account, and it might flip some games. But looking at the guards, Logan Bruss, hopefully he's gonna be able to get some starting action because, you know, if he's 21 years old, that's a positive. You got David Edwards in here, obviously a very solid guard in my opinion. You know, looking at this is a really weak interior. This feels very 49ers-esque. Like, I'm looking at it like, yee. I'm a little bit worried, guys. Little bit worried about this guard sitch. And let's look at the centers. Maybe they put one as a center. They didn't. Brian Allen's solid. I like Brian Allen. He showed out last year, got a little contract extension. So, you know, you got a good center, better than the Niners, but your guard situation's a little bit worrisome. Granted, if I'm not mistaken, you do run a wide zone run scheme. So kind of minimizes the exact need for guards to be super stout one-on-one. And I'm hoping that they're able to mask anything in that regard. Building the defense from the defensive line out, obviously the best player arguably in football, Aaron Donald. Probably the best player since Lawrence Taylor, if not better, depending on how he continues his career. Yeah, I mean, people might say this is an overpay. It's not. He's worth 3, maybe 4 players on the defense. He's a monster. A'Shawn Robinson's good too. Bobby Brown, good depth. Greg Gaines, good depth. Like, this is a good interior squad. I like that a lot, and it's going to play a big factor into some of these teams that have a poor interior, like the Rams do. But looking at the edges, so to speak, you got Daniel Hardy. Like, this is not looking good. I'm going to be honest. You had Von Miller here. I know Donald will take some reps outside, but Justin Hollins has some potential. I'm a little bit worried here. I don't even know. I'm going to be honest. I didn't study Daniel Hardy. He wasn't in many people's mocks. Like, he just wasn't worth it. So I'm really concerned about that. And especially given the price tag of your defensive ends, that's a bit of a concern. But maybe you guys have them listed as outside linebackers. You do. I was just playing with you guys the whole time. Yeah, Leonard Floyd's in here. He's the 1-2 punch. Leonard Floyd's been able to perform very well. Had a pretty big contract extension, a little bit more than warranted, but you know what? By the time of that contract ending, probably going to be not too shabby. Terrell Lewis is a good guy. I like him as good depth. So I'll just play with you guys. You have some good depth here. I like that. Pass rush is not that big of a concern for me. Obviously, losing Von Miller is a big drop, but I still think you're fine. You're fine. Looking at the other linebacker positions, Ernest Jones, I was a big fan of him. He's actually having not too shabby of a career himself. Then you got Bobby Wagner. Yeah, I don't need it. There's no introduction needed. Even if he's like a shell of himself, he's still a beast. Big fan of that. Let's go to the safeties here. You know, this team is loaded with them. Terrell Burgess, Taylor Rapp, Quentin Lake, Jordan Fuller. Yeah, the safeties is where this team always hits. So I'm not really worried about that. You guys are going to have a boss-ass safety core. But corner-wise, you got the arguably one of, if not the best corner in the league, Jalen Ramsey, Troy Hill as well. Solid veteran player there. I will say past that, I'm a little bit concerned. Like, you got Robert Rochelle here, who hopefully can step up. I was a fan of him. Nakobe Durant, not that big of a fan. David Long, he's been there. He has some plays. Darion Kendrick, TJ Carter. I think he's from Memphis. I think he transferred elsewhere, but he used to go to Memphis. I think he went to TCU or something. That's beside the point. But I would say corner depth is a little bit of a concern, especially if Jalen Ramsey goes into the slot. Like, I really don't want these guys to be my primary, but that's kind of more of a nitpick than anything because you do have a good enough pass rush to overcome that. So starting off week 1, I still think the Bills will be able to carve you guys up a little bit. You know, you have a really good squad. The Bills are not as good, in my opinion, like line to line wise, but I still think they're phenomenal. I think obviously, you know, when you look at it, the Falcons actually have some potential. We're just in such an elevated league that there's not very many bad teams. It's just teams that are kind of more so significantly more into the elite zone. This team, especially at this time, will have health, and I think that can be a good enough factor. You know, I think that if JJ Watt can get some pressure, this could be a different scenario here for sure. But I'm going to stick to it as is. Again, these games could be heavy pressure games for the Rams, but I'm going to trust it. This could be a Niners dub. This could be. But Trey Lance is still having his growing pains, and Aaron Donald's going to be coming at him pretty heavily. I think Matt Stafford can make the most out of a weaker roster than Trey Lance. So then the Cowboys come into town. I still think the Rams can take that. The Panthers, I don't think they can handle the Rams. I think they're a good team, though. I think I'm going to be flipping quite a few games. I have them at 0-9 right now. I do think I'm going to be flipping games. But you do have the Niners coming into here when you guys are rested. Still think that'll be the same result. Rams then go to Tampa. You're in Tampa, and they want revenge. It's Brady's final tour. Cardinals at home. Don't really need to say much about that. So for the Saints, you will probably not have a star left tackle, and I'm going to take Leonard Floyd or Aaron Donald every single time in that scenario. The Rams go to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs might have a dub here. They might have a chance because you are at Arrowhead. I think Arrowhead's a big enough difference from Los Angeles, especially at this time of the year. So I'm going to be giving it to them. Seahawks, I think, might be an 0-16 team, or 0-17, excuse me. The Raiders, I think that they have a chance here, but I'm going to trust Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams with safety help over the top. So I like that one. And again, poor offensive line. Packers fully rested. I think I'm going to take them too. This game, I believe in the Broncos, but not that much. I think that they still need to develop a little bit more. Linebacker certainly is still a little bit of a concern, and I think Cooper Kupp can carve them up. But against the Chargers, I'm going to take the Chargers at home. I think that they're phenomenal, and then you're going to end off the year, unless you rest your starters, taking out the team that I'm probably going to give an 0-17 record. So the Rams are 12-5. I think they sweep their division. Just naturally, it's what they're going to do. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.